Welcome back to our channel, and today we're back with our crash damage 2023 BMW X5 M50i. As you may have seen in our last video, we took delivery of it, and in this video we'll be talking about the car, all little details, taking a look at all the damages, what we will probably need for the car, and just giving you more information about the entire car. And yeah, let's get into the video. I'd appreciate it a lot if you could take your time real quick to like and subscribe, because this will help this channel grow and also give further projects for you guys and also more videos for you guys. So as I've mentioned, this is our 2023 BMW X5 M50i, which we bought crash damage from Copart. And this car, which doesn't really seem like it, has a 4.4 liter V8 and makes around 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque, which is just insane in my opinion for a kind of normal comfort SUV. But this car is kind of more comfortable if you compare it to the X5M competition. The X5M competition makes around 617 horsepower, and also weirdly enough, when we did research about the cars, they make around the same numbers on the torque, so also 553 pound-feet of torque. But yeah, the X5M competition is a little bit more sporty, has different packages like the body panels and everything. This one has the M package, but again makes less power. Also the interior is a little bit different, but we'll focus more on this one. And yeah, let's get into the details of the car, also show you the process of when we bought the car, of also what we thought of it when we bought it, and yeah, and why we think it's a good deal. So if you take a look at the Copart pictures here, this is all we saw because the car was all the way in Utah, which is all the way across the country for us. And all we saw was of course the major damage in the front, and almost that every airbag was deployed on the inside. But something that you obviously can't see if you buy a car just online with the pictures. For example here, which is probably kind of hard to see on camera, is that these panel gaps here on the door, it's a little bit tighter down here, more open up here, and exactly the other way, a little bit tighter up here and more open down here, which doesn't really have to be from the crash. Can also be from manufacturing, or also because the door is heavy that it settles a little bit. And also in here you can see that there's a little height difference. Also up here on these little trims that there's a height difference, so that's possibly more likely the manufacturing. And if we take a look up here, this fender looks to be okay and fine, except for this little point up here. When during the crash the hood put a little bit pressure on the fender and probably bent it out a little bit and made the paint chip a little bit. But besides that, we bent it in a little bit more and also saw that this became more flush. So this side probably doesn't have, or barely has, any damage from the crash. But also this frame down here seems to be fine, but that's something that we'll sort out in the future when we take away parts and put new parts on. But besides that, this side definitely had more damage, because this fender, as we can also see by the hood, was here pushed more in. This fender got pushed back, and as you can see, the car got a little bit, or a lot of pressure on this side because there's a lot of paint chipping off here. And this whole fender got pushed back and is overlapping with the door and the A-pillar up here. And we also just put a little bit of paper in between so it's not rubbing paint on paint, to kind of protect that a little bit. But besides that, on the damage that we see, we'll have to look that into a little bit. But obviously the crash bar took away a lot of the damage. Definitely ran into something like a pole or a tree maybe, but there's a lot of damage that probably went into that direction, because there's obviously a lot of damage on the left side or the right side of the car. And also these chassis legs are also bent in that direction. There's also another hint that the car got most of the force in that direction, because this one snapped off and that one is also bent in that direction. And also maybe the chassis leg inside, which we'll also see in the future, may also be bent, but that's something that we'll look at. So if you take another quick look after analyzing the front a little bit, for us the damage is kind of limited to up here, because if we take a look in here, we currently can't open the hood because it's kind of stuck, but that's a further problem that we'll fix. But if you take a look in here, this beam goes all the way to the other side and seems straight to us, and everything else looks okay under here. And if you take a look again here, this was nothing like someone a rear-ended one where all the pressure was on both chassis legs at the same time. This was in between both of them. As you can see here, it was something small, or obviously not small, that hit the car in between here. So it's not like the chassis leg is pushed back, so it's more bent sideways in some sort, but that's something that we'll get into in the future when we take everything apart and get this hood off. But yeah, let's take a look on the inside. Before we take a look on the interior, we can say that we got lucky with this car because this car does have the bigger wheels, the red brake calipers, and also has the bigger sound system, and also is full with leather everywhere, the dash leather. And also another very cool fact is that it is Alcantara headliner, which is very, very nice. Sunroof and everything. Very nice interior, and is almost fully optioned out as a M50i, which we got for around $21,900, which is a completely steal because it had an MSRP of about $110,000, which is a lot compared to what we bought it for the $21,000. But yeah, let's take a look on the interior. So if you take a look on the interior, we can already see a lot of airbags that were deployed. For one, this knee airbag, the steering wheel, this curtain airbag, which goes all the way to the back. This one on the side of the seat, which pops open the entire seat and rips open the leather stitching in here. And take a look here on the back. Again, this airbag, the curtain, which goes all the way from the front to the back. Again, this one in the back, which rips open the stitching here, also blew up. On the other side, again, we have the curtain airbag, which goes from the front to the back. Luckily, no airbag here, which got deployed, so that saves us a little bit of money. And also again here, another knee airbag. And for this, which was kind of sad to see, which will also cost a little bit more money and time, is the dashboard airbag, because this actually completely rips open the leather, which is not fixable anymore, so you have to buy a completely new dash, which is kind of sad to see, but again, that's what they're made for and that's what they do. So it's good that they protected someone that was in the car. But another damage is this front screen, because it got completely obliterated or cracked when this airbag deployed, because you can see there's started here and it just cracked the entire windshield. And also this Aprilia trim, due to the airbag when it exploded, when it lets the heat out here and the air that's in it did burn. If you can see it here, you can see there's brown marks, and it's very, very hard. Burned the Alcantara on here, so we do need a new trim for this, but that's not a bigger problem. But yeah. So we did order a lot of parts ahead, which we knew that we needed, such as airbags or the dashboard, and a lot of pieces on the front that were missing and broken. And another big part, which we also ordered ahead when we bought the car, was the Pyrofuse, which sits in the back, because that was blown, obviously, because the airbags were deployed. And it's just a safety feature because it cuts power from the car, because it sits next to the battery. It cuts the power to the car, so the car immediately turns off and prevents any fires or other injuries. And if you take a look here, we can see again that this airbag and these side airbags are deployed, and that's due to there's a motion sensor in the ECU or the module, which sits in the center console, which is kind of like a motion sensor, and kind of tracks in what way the car goes in like crashes, or if the car flips, these deploy, which is also another hint, as we see in the front, that the car got hit kind of at an angle and pushed the passengers into this direction, which is why these airbags on the side deployed on the front and back, which is kind of weird. Some people would say that the back also explodes even if there's no passenger, but I mean, that's what they're made for, to also prevent any injuries. Also, if you take a look here on these airbags, it's not like they rip open the leather. As you can see, there's still the little holes from the stitching. They just rip open the stitching. So if you kind of know how to sew a little bit, it's not that hard to replace them and to put them back together, because again, the little holes that are from the old stitching are still there. So you just need new stitching, the new airbag, put the new airbag in, stitch it back closed, and then it should be good. The only scariest part about this entire car, in our opinion, are these airbags, and not just all airbags. It's one particular, because all other airbags you can probably switch out in a couple of minutes. This with the stitching takes a couple of hours maybe. This is 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes. These are also just plug and play. And again, the scariest part for us is this dashboard airbag, because it completely rips open the leather on the airbag. and it's not that easy to switch out the dashboard, and that means taking out both of the seats, the entire center console, the steering wheel, the dashboard itself again, and then it's not just putting the old one back in. You have to take all the little components which are inside of the old one and put it into the new one, then put this back, put the steering wheel back, put the center console back, put the seats back again, and that's all just for that little airbag which exploded up there. But I mean, it obviously was for a good cause to keep the passengers safe. But again, that's just kind of scary and annoying because that's a very, very long process and just also quite expensive to replace this entire dashboard, and also hard to find a in good condition dashboard. So as you may have seen in the first video when we got the car delivered, one of the problems was that the oil cooler, or the transition oil cooler, was broken. So here we have a new one. We already got this ordered. Already have a lot of other parts ordered for this car, which were obvious, which we needed, but those are on the way. But yeah, that's something that we will need to get this car up and running, first of all. But yeah, if you take a look here in the back, this is all the stuff. Besides this stuff, there's a few things that we already again ordered, but these are all things that Copart left us in the car, which were after the crash, like this kind of wheelhouse kind of fender liner, or whatever you want to call it, which goes here on the outside, popped off on both sides on the front, which is kind of cool that they still give you this. It doesn't have any damages, so that saves us a little bit of money. Also, like bumper parts in here, like radars and stuff, because this obviously also saves you a lot of money because they're very expensive. So that's a really cool thing which Copart does, which is giving you, it sounds weird, but it gives you the broken parts, but you never know what you may need, because this just saves you a lot of time and also money. But another part, except for saving money obviously, is also if you have these parts and all the screws inside of them, like these little screws for the trims and everything, is, if you take a look here on the front, is that obviously if you don't have a front, you don't really know what you need and what is missing. And like for example here, this is for the horn, and for example these brackets, you can take them off and bend them a little straight, and also little screws like these is also very helpful if Copart also gives you these again, because they just make life a little bit easier when they give you this stuff, because if you don't, you'll have to search everything back, and that's kind of hard to do. So it's just way easier if you just getting into this like we are, because this is our first project of building or rebuilding a crash damaged car. This definitely gives us a big step ahead. And you're probably wondering how we got this car all the way back here, because it was sat in our garage for a couple of days, and it was, I mean, the car is running, but it won't go into gear. Obviously the oil cooler for the transmission is broken, so it doesn't build up any oil pressure, so had to kind of find a tricky way on how to get that. But yeah, just take a look. The only thing you will need is 1 or 2 zip ties, a 10mm, and first we'll start with removing the underbody, the tray. It's just a few screws here on the bottom, all 10mm, and then also this little bracket. Here are those 2 screws where the holder bolts onto to hold the underbody tray. And if you take a look in here on the driver's side of the transmission, you can see that there's a little lever up there, right there. We don't have this on camera because it's kind of hard. There's a little hole in the lever where you can put your zip tie through, and then just put the zip tie or attach it to the drive shaft. And it's a little hard at first to get it down to pull it because there's a little bit of tension on it since it is in park or in gear. It's definitely obvious when it is in neutral because it makes a little sound, and it's definitely doesn't have any tension on it right now. So it should be in neutral, and always make sure when you're under your car to put another jack under it, and also since you're putting it into neutral, make sure to put a block under your wheel or behind your wheel so it doesn't roll away. And as you can see, the car's now telling me that it's in neutral, and also down here it says that it's in neutral and before it was in park. So another cool part, and also again money saver, is with these headlights, which is just kind of amazing to see that these run. This one wasn't that surprising that it runs. It just has a little bit chipped away. Up here is just a little, the plastic cover, which is cracked. But if you take a look on this side, it's very surprising that this one even turns on, because if you take a look here, you can see that that one is on. This one's also on as well, as you can see. And even this one, which looks kind of like a blinker, but it's not. It's this little orange one which lights up. The entire frame got ripped out, but the little orange light just stayed by itself, which also means another big money saver is that all of these modules on these still work and still can be used, which again is just very, very nice and cool to see that these are working. Another scary part is, if you take a look here underneath, is that this plastic cover underneath and also the heat shield underneath is bent. So that's kind of a scary part, because we don't know if that's from the crash. It could possibly also be from Copart, because they do use their forklifts to carry these cars around, because this one obviously wasn't running. So, but that's something we'll get into in the next couple of days when we take apart most of the parts at the front and also take a look at the stuff underneath. And make sure to keep on watching, because we will be making step-by-step videos on this car, and we won't be cutting any corners, because this car will be for my mom and I think she will be very excited for this car. And yeah, again, we won't be cutting any corners. We are not mechanics. We do this by what we think, and we do have some logical thinking skills. We're just normal car enthusiasts, like working on cars. And yeah, we'll do step-by-step on this for you guys. If you have any questions, be sure to comment. We will be reaching out to you guys. But yeah, thank you for watching today's video. It will help out a lot if you could like, subscribe, drive safe, and stay tuned.